Hi, it's O.T. Carlson here, and today we're going back in time and looking at some of the westerns starring Audie Murphy. Audie Murphy, of course, was a legendary war hero who was the most decorated soldier of World War II. A few years back, Kino Lorber put out a 3-disc collection of Audie Murphy Westerns. I reviewed that on my channel. I'll post the link up above if you want to check that out. Surprisingly, it became one of the most popular videos in the history of my channel. Today, we're taking a look at the next set from Kino Lorber. This is the Audie Murphy Collection 2, featuring 3 more westerns starring Murphy. This time around we get Sierra, Kansas Raiders, and Destry. I'm going to unbox this release and I will share my opinions. Top of the box, side of the box, back of the box, bottom of the box is just blank. Then we have the spines of the 3 individual titles. First movie in the set is Sierra from 1950. Second movie in the set, also released in 1950, is Kansas Raiders. Third and final movie in the set from 1954 is Destry. And I'll read the descriptions of the films as follows from the box. This collection includes 3 classic Technicolor westerns from the 1950s starring the great Audie Murphy, World War II hero turned movie legend. Sierra. Murphy plays Ring Hassard, a horse tamer who lives in a hidden mountain valley with his father Jet. When Ring rescues a lost trailblazer, Riley Martin, romance sparks, but Jeff's shadowy past and a menacing gang of horse thieves threaten to end their love and their lives. Kansas Raiders. Seeking revenge against the Union during the Civil War, young Jesse James and his gang ride into Kansas and team up with Colonel William Quantrill and his Raiders. The more time Jesse spends with Quantrill, however, the more he realizes that the Colonel isn't a hero for the South, but a bushwhacking madman. Destry. This classic story of the West stars Murphy as Tom Destry, a small-town deputy who doesn't even carry a gun. But Destry's mild exterior masks a wild determination to see justice done, as the boozy town sheriff and the nasty town crooks soon discover. Audie Murphy starred in a lot of great films over the years. He starred primarily in westerns, although he did play himself in the film To Hell and Back, which I've also reviewed on this channel. I'll post a link up there if you want to check that out as well. The collection, of course, starts out with Sierra, which stars Murphy as a young man living up in the hills with his father, living in disgrace following past events. This movie is actually quite forward-thinking because it has a woman character who is trained as a lawyer, which is quite surprising because you don't see a lot of educated women in movies in these films, so that's actually some nice representation there. But then at the same time, you also have a character played by Burl Ives, who's something of an aging balladeer, and that feels like something that harkens back to the days of singing cowboys and feels a little out of place in this movie. Sierra is certainly no masterpiece, but it does feature Audie Murphy doing what he does best. Kansas Raiders is another quite good film, this time around featuring him portraying Jesse James, and he and the James gang go to sign up with Quantrill's Raiders so that they can get revenge against the North for what they did to them, leaving them homeless and in a desperate situation. Unfortunately, Jesse quickly discovers that Quantrill is not the man that he claims to be, killing innocent civilians and trying to get justice and vengeance his own way, leaving Jesse James to contemplate whether this is the right path or not. And this one actually introduces an element of moral ambiguity there as to what really is the right decision here. And it really does go to show the futility of the Civil War and all those lives that were lost with brother fighting against brother. It's a solid film and quite possibly my favorite of the 3 that's in this set. Destry, of course, is a remake of Destry Rides Again, an old film from the late 30s that starred Marlene Dietrich and James Stewart. This time around, the James Stewart role, Destry, is portrayed by Audie Murphy. And you get a pretty nice cast here that also includes the likes of Thomas Mitchell. The movie is something of a more comedic western than the slightly darker and more adult elements that you get in this collection. I would argue that this take on the Destry story is a little darker and slightly less comedic than the James Stewart version, but it is still probably the most lighthearted film in this collection by comparison. That said, though, it is a pretty solid film, and I do have to say, it is one I did quite enjoy watching. These 3 films in the Audie Murphy Collection 2 all look pretty solid. The first two films are in Academy ratio, whereas the latter film is in an unusual 2:1 widescreen ratio, which seems to be right in the middle of the two ratios that most widescreen films use even to this day. All of the movies look pretty good. There's the occasional little bit of fading and print damage and some rough-looking transitions, but overall, all of the movies do look quite good. I don't really know what restoration work, if any, went into these, but I am happy with how they look. Sadly, the only bonus features we get are commentary tracks and theatrical trailers for the movies, as well as trailers for some other Audie Murphy films as well. So, while the supplement package is quite sparse, we do get 3 pretty solid movies in here starring Audie Murphy that look pretty good. If you're a fan of Murphy or Westerns, what have you, it's definitely a collection worth picking up if you can find it for a fair price. Are you a fan of the cinema of Audie Murphy? What's your favorite movie that he ever made? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting more videos. And be sure to give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.